Ever since he decided to be brave and reach out to hold the girl's hand, he was shocked that she didn't pull away. It brought a sugary sweet smile to his face. Feeling the warmth emanating from between their palms, he couldn't help but feel a twinge of heartache. This particular scene nearly caused Sue to collapse in laughter, for it turned out that what he had just grasped was actually the smelly foot of the uncle living downstairs. By the end of the movie, Yujin still couldn't shake off the awkwardness and was too shy to look at Suya. Though thinking back on the incident was still hilarious, clever Suya didn't press on to embarrass him further. Instead, she boldly reached out, as if saying, "Come on, little man, grab hold of me." Feeling the warmth in their hands, at that moment, Yujin's smile could no longer be contained, and they began to enjoy a sweet, happy time together. He rode his bike with Sue to catch the sunset, and when they reached the hilltop, they spotted an outdoor movie in the distance, though the screen was a bit far. However, the boy was prepared and handed the girl a pair of binoculars. To be thoughtful, he even brought out a selfie stick. As their faces drew closer, their hearts became tightly entwined, feeling each other's heartbeat. Unable to resist the urge, Yujin stole a kiss. Awkward, but the impulse was so intoxicating for both of them. Until he dropped Suya off at her doorstep, she handed him a token of their love, reminding him to train well and avoid getting hurt again. The power of love fueled Yujin's ambition for the national team tryouts, because love is absolutely powerful. Since that moment, he trained day and night, and in the dead of night, he could always see her hard work at the swimming pool, living up to her expectations. He was determined to come back with the best results, but the body always has its limits. Overtraining led to issues with his pituitary gland, causing him to faint unexpectedly during stressful or exhausting moments. This condition is irreversible. Even with professional treatment, relief was elusive. Ultimately, he had to give up training, ending his career abruptly, and his daily life was severely affected. The blow caught him completely off guard. Instantly losing all his vitality, the once sunny and handsome boy turned into a washed-up shell of a man. To avoid dragging Suya down, Yujin tearfully proposed to break her, and Suya remained silent, heartbroken. She turned away in tears. After Suya left, Yujin could no longer hold himself together, feeling as if a knife had pierced through his heart, shattering his spirit. After losing Suya, the man once full of ambition lost all motivation and began to wither away. Until one day, he could no longer resist the urge to see the woman he loved one last time. He arrived alone in Seoul, waiting at the school gate all day. Finally spotting the girl he adored, he noticed she didn't even bring an umbrella. Without thinking, he instinctively wanted to shield her from the rain, but then saw her getting into someone else's car, leaving him both saddened and enlightened. It dawned on him that she had forgotten him and found her own happiness. He tossed the two tokens of their love away. He tried to slowly forget her, deciding to move away from the city, to vanish forever from Suya's world. He thought their relationship would drift apart like a lost kite, but a phone call during his move reminded him of that angelic girl. After pondering for a long time, he decided to meet Suya at the train station. When she saw Yujin, she joyfully ran towards him. The sudden scene left Yujin in shock just as he was about to ask what was going on. However, Suya reassured him, "Don't worry, we'll be just fine because fate has everything sorted out." In that moment, Yujin finally let go of his inhibitions and embraced Suya tightly. Before long, they stepped into the wedding hall, creating their perfect. However, fate seemed unwilling to let this suffering couple off easily. Shortly after giving birth to a son, Suya passed away, leaving behind a father and son. Father and son relied on each other, with the son only recalling the fairy tales his mother once told him about Cloudland. Legend says the dead first go to Cloudland, watching earthly kin with tears daily. When the rainy season comes, they sneak aboard the raindrop train to visit Earth, passing through tunnels to reunite with their most cherished family members. When the rainy season ends, the raindrop spirits quietly remind them that it's time to return to Cloudland, a promise made between the mother and child. From the day his mother passed away, the boy eagerly awaited the arrival of the rainy season each day. Each time he heard his son recount the story, Yujin merely smiled in silence, not wanting to shatter his son's illusions about his mother. Although he put on a brave face in front of his son, every night he would hide under the covers, secretly watching videos of his wife. While soon the rainy season arrived, and the excited son put on his raincoat, running towards the train station despite his father's protest. They passed through the tunnel to an abandoned train station. The boy searched every corner, but there was still no sign of his mother. Eventually, he could only sit under the eaves in disappointment, and Eugen had to comfort him, saying, "Mom might be busy today. We'll definitely see her next time." However, on the return journey, a figure that seemed very familiar emerged in the tunnel, and he murmured to himself, "Mom, is it really you? Mom, I've missed you so much." The son sprinted towards the figure without hesitation. The moment they locked eyes, Eugen froze in shock, staring blankly. "Mom, are you there? Who is this? Mom, don't you recognize me?" "It's me." "Unfortunately, it seems Suya has completely forgotten us." Eugen still couldn't believe it until he heard his son call him back to reality, and they finally brought Suya back home. The son excitedly introduced their home to Suya and pulled out the drawing he prepared for her, hoping it would awaken her memories. However, Eugen secretly took his son to the bathroom, fearing Suya would recall Carl Blunter and leave again.